Thank you very much. Welcome back. This brutal force is also actually a good sign, meaning that you had a really good lunch and that now you are digesting. So please bring yourself also, not just your body, but your mind also to our classroom together, because now we are diving into the growth mindset topic. Yep. I'm sure that many of you are already familiar. This morning I tried to understand you more, and I was really grateful for all the sharings that you gave me, because I see that you're really trying and that you really want to change something in the design studies. Link to this presentation is here. There you have the presentation and some other materials. With this session, we will go through 3 points. Before you already asked me, we will have to work again. Yes, of course, that's one part. Please, Christoph.
Could you just switch back one, because they all wanted to make a photo of the link.
Of course. Thank you.
As you can see, you have full attention.
At least now, right? So we will, with this session, we will understand the profound impact that our mindset has on learning. So our mindset as educator, but also students' mindset on their learning. Then we will discuss the impact that you have with your mindset on your students. And in the end, we will design a growth mindset workshop for your students. These are the 3 points that we are going through in our journey together this afternoon. What is mindset then? Is it a belief? Yeah? So we set our mind on something and we are focused on that. The whole work of the growth mindset is, we are thankful to Carol Dweck, who developed this, and she says that when we are discussing learning, mindset means belief regarding the nature of one's characteristics. So what is the nature of our talents, of our abilities, of our character, actually? She found out in her research that some people believe that my intelligence, my abilities are something inside me, and that we cannot actually do much about them. They are inherited, and if we are lucky, we have this creative talent, and then we can be designers. But if we are not, God help us. So people with this are, we are saying they have a fixed mindset. On the other hand, we have the other continuum of people. They believe that my intelligence, my abilities are something that I can change always. If I put enough effort into this, I can change, right? This is growth mindset then. Of course, these are like 2 extremes. Most people are not on one or the other extremes, but that we can recognize them easier, we divide them into 2 categories. But now let's move a little bit, because we are digesting our lunch, right? We will test a little bit our mindset. I will show you some skills, and you will tell me whether your mindset regarding that particular skill is fixed, more fixed, or a growth mindset. So if you believe that one skill, like cooking, that you can change it, then you stand up because you have a growth mindset. If you believe that you are born with cooking skills, then you sit down. You can also be in the middle somewhere, okay? Because that's life, you know. We are not one or the other extreme, so we can be like that. So now let's try. Language learning, what do you think? Okay, more or less growth, okay. No group pressure, please, yeah? If there's no group pressure. Drawing, okay. Okay, somewhere in the middle. Singing. Okay, half, right? To perform a surgery. Okay, yeah, okay, more or less growth mindset. Learning mathematics. Learning architecture. Okay, again up, some majority. Making love. Oh, of course, we all standing. It's a group pressure. Right, but now, thank you for this. What does science says about that? Let's see. I would like to, Colin already mentioned London. I will mention it once again, but another study with Eleanor Maguire, who studied taxi drivers' brains. And she found out that they have bigger brains in the part of hippocampus, which is responsible for spatial memory. Yeah, they are navigating. But they are not born with a bigger part, but actually these circumstances in which they had to navigate so strong, and the year here is 2000, so they didn't have Google and GPS and everything there. Actually, these particular circumstances trained them, and their neurons are growing because of the requirements of their work. I'm also sure that you remember one waiter maybe from your life, that you are in a restaurant with a group of people, waiter comes and he just remembers everything that each person orders. Do you know, yeah? There are some of that. Again, our brains are adapted to circumstances, and we are growing our brains regarding the circumstances that we have in our life. So our brains are like clay. If we decide at the moment that we want to improve our skills of, drawing or language learning, we can do that, because we will grow our brains then if we put an effort into that. There is also another perspective regarding brain plasticity. You remember maybe people who recovered from strokes or from different traumas. They develop skills even if they are older. The message here is that actually our brains are developing through the whole life, not just in the childhood, that maybe we have a perception, but for the whole life. They grow neurons, they adapt to different circumstances. So what does it mean this for learning? That maybe we put too much effort or too much focus into talent. The myth of talent is quite common within education. Maybe a talent or maybe a creativity in the context of design. That like we are born creative, and if we are creative, then we would be more successful. But actually then with this mindset, we undermine deliberate practice, perseverance, and passion. Oh my God, passion is so important for grit. So what are the consequences if now you think about your students for a second? So what are consequences for studying in case if one student has a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Let's see some of the example. If I have a fixed mindset, and I really had it, I'm a trained psychologist, which means that in my generation, they taught us that intelligence is something that you cannot change because the coefficient of inheritance is like more than 90 and that's it. If you are born smart, that's wonderful. So if I have this fixed mindset, then the goal of studying and learning is maybe that I want to look smart, yeah? Because if I don't look smart in front of educators, in front of my peers, it means that maybe I'm not that smart after all, yeah? But if I have the growth mindset, it means that when I study, I just simply want to learn new things. It's a pressure. In my generation of education, they even divided us, for instance, in mathematics, into groups. You know, these are high-level students and those are mediocre level students. If you were lucky, you get in the higher level and you were like smart. If not, you are not then. Challenges, for instance. Fixed mindset. If I have this, maybe I would avoid challenge. Just maybe I would choose simpler projects, easier subjects, because I have to prove myself. If I choose a harder one, it means there is a chance I will fail. And again, that proves that maybe I'm not that smart again. But if I have the growth mindset as a student, then I embrace challenges, because even if I fail, this means nothing. It just means that I'm on my way of learning. Fixed mindset, I give up easily, because of course there's no point of learning. If you are not for that, you are not for that. But in the growth mindset state, then we persist and seek feedback. Then again, effort, similar story. There's no point in effort if we are in the fixed mindset mode, but in a growth mindset, we see effort as a path to mastery. Of course, we need those 24,000 hours to get the mastery, but at least we are going there. And success of others. If we are in the fixed mindset, maybe we see a success as a threat. Yeah. But in the growth mindset, we find an inspiration. That was the story for students. How about us? What is our role as educators if we cultivate a fixed mindset culture in our teaching, in our classrooms, or a growth mindset? So in the fixed mindset, maybe our role is to select the best students, the best talents in my class, work with them, and then maybe in the future send them to good companies. But in the growth mindset, we perceive our role differently. We perceive our role that a role of an educator is that we help our students, that they develop a belief in their abilities. Because your students, they are not tabula rasas. If you now maybe think about them, what information they have when they come to your classroom? They're coming from the primary school, from the secondary schools. They are coming from different families with different pressures, with different messages regarding the mindset. And can you guess, what is our culture? Is it more inclined towards fixed mindset? We put labels on people lots of time, or to growth mindset? Probably the fixed mindset is much more common, at least here in this part of Europe. And my expectations as an educator, if I am in the fixed mindset, maybe I will have high expectations only for those students that I perceive them as a talent, and then I lower the expectations for all the others. At least some of the professors are saying me, you know, these young generations, we have to lower the expectations because they cannot fulfill the standards that we are requiring them. But if I have a growth mindset, then I set high expectations to all the students. So being a growth mindset teacher is not a story about this nice teacher who really supports students and make a positive talk, but it's a story about a demanding teacher who puts high expectations but also supports students to reach the standards that you set. In our team, we identified 5 areas through which every educator can develop the growth mindset of their students. So these are the conversation about the nature of brains and intelligence. Okay, maybe you will say to me, okay, why do I have to communicate with them about brains? It's not my role. I teach design. But actually nobody tells them about growth and fixed mindset, you know. And if you will not tell them, then they will move on with the same mindset as they come. Then another area of developing a growth mindset is, of course, through language. So Colin already reminded us in the morning about the role of the language for the whole culture. So here again we have. Then through the design of tasks that we are giving to our students, that's the third area. So how do we structure different challenges? How do we structure the projects that they are doing mistakes and learn from that? Then through assessment, I think that Larry will tell us a bit more about that. And through reflection, when we actually support them in thinking about their learning journey. Today, of course, we have limited time, so we will dive into growth mindset language. So how, with what language can we support the growth mindset? With what language we mirror the growth mindset to our students? And in the workshop part, we will discuss the nature of brains and intelligence. No, you will do the learning, actually, not me. That's the intaking that I have from Colin. So these are the 5 areas. Now, please, we are going to the growth mindset language. We will cover those 3 topics. So how we focus more on processing, so more on the process of learning and not so much on labeling. Then how we frame, you know, different, I don't know, when students make failures, when they feel under pressure. So how do we frame this into the growth mindset story? And also about high expectations. How do we communicate on that? I need your help, of course, with this. We don't have Mentimeter, but we have those Post-its, so please take them now. And please write on the green one, number 1, on the blue one, number 2, and on the violet one, number 3. Anna and Steven, you have a few Post-its here also if you want to participate, and I can give you mine also. Green is 1, blue is 2, and violet is 3. Ready? I will show you different statements that are quite often in communication with our students. And you will vote which one reflects a growth mindset state. We will train this. Yeah? So the first statement is, wow, you really work hard on this. The second statement is, wow, you are a real natural of this. So which one is a growth mindset, 1 or 2? Yeah, more or less green, yeah? That's right, yeah. Because when we communicating talents, we are also labeling in the same time. Yeah, that's why when we communicate and giving feedback, we are in a growth mindset state if we mirror the hard work, the effort, and everything that is, or maybe different learning strategies that they are coming up, or their focus, things like that, yeah? The things that are controllable, yeah? Because if you say to me, oh, you are real natural to me, okay, I feel good, of course I feel good, but I cannot change actually this, yeah? The second one, why don't we try a different strategy? And maybe you are just not very good at this. We all have some weaknesses. So which one reflects growth mindset? Yes, again, yes. So with communicating different strategies of learning, different strategies of design, we are sending the message on the things that are controllable and that we can change. Okay, now you got that done so quickly. Great job. Or I know this is easy for you, but let's try something more challenges to help grow your brain. The second, yeah? Yeah? Remember before, yeah? Because sometimes when we say to students, okay, you can fail, you can make mistakes, no problem, they just give us crap, you know, because they think we will tolerate everything, but no, we have the growth mindset here, so we don't accept that. We just say, okay, this is too easy, obviously, we will try something more challenging. Okay, so labeling, you are so smart, and I loved how you solved that problem. Which one is a growth mindset? And yeah. Okay, yeah. Second one. This is already too easy for you. We will get to more challenging them, yeah. But how about the comforting feedback? So you did all you could do. Then the second one is, it's okay not to understand all of it at first. Now try thinking what needs to be done next to understand it better. Okay, yeah? So again, we accept their failure, but we want to push them to learn from that. So what can we do differently next? Then you can always try a different way to get it done. Maybe you can draw it out instead of writing about it, or keep trying and you will get it soon. Okay, great, yeah. Yeah, okay. The first one, yes. Yeah, something more challenging. Yeah, you just, you know, get this too easy, so we will try additional tasks. Now you had a choice, but now you will create alternatives. So work this in pairs. You just choose your neighbor, which sits next to you, or maybe you can work as threes together, and create a growth mindset alternative in pair. So if I say it's good enough, it's a comforting feedback. So what would be more growth mindset feedback? What could be an alternative to this statement? Now you're looking to be a little bit weird, okay? You know, this can be your, I'm sure that sometimes when you get a project from your students, maybe you don't say it aloud, but maybe you think, okay, it's good enough, but that's actually a fixed mindset. So what could be a more productive, more growth mindset-oriented language alternative to this?
Trying to try another method. Yeah, try to improve it and take it to the next level.
Yeah, Oliver. Okay, yeah. Of course, that's life, you know. We are not in the extremes usually, but we are usually in the middle. Yeah. And you can say, for instance, yeah, that's good enough to pass the exam, but are you really satisfied with that? Because I know you can do more because you showed us yesterday or in the previous week. Yeah, great. Can we hear some more? We heard now one suggestion from Oliver, but maybe some more who would like to share, maybe just one alternative. Yeah, please, Catherine. Okay, the suggestion here was that's a good approach, but think more about the challenge that you have. Yeah, Tanya.
We said try another method and bring it to the next level.
Okay, great. The message that you are putting here is, I believe in you that you can produce more quality. Okay, how about that one? No, that's wrong. Try harder. Maybe if you paid more attention in class and tried harder, you would get this. That's a bit of a blaming, right? So, what could be an alternative? Again, in pairs. You can stay in the same pairs or triads.
I understand how you can try another time or give it another The tools I use are not. It sometimes happens. It's true, right? Okay, so let's make, you just can't. I mean, not that it's wrong. I think it's important to understand iteration. So if it's worth, it's completely fine to fail, so you can do it over
Okay. Can we hear one alternative? Who would like to share?
For example, try taking notes or
Do we have some alternatives?
listening to the lectures. You can walk through it.
This one was more tricky, I guess. Yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, we were thinking to maybe ask where we've lost the student, and if we could explain it maybe again, or to go through it again together.
Yeah, okay. That's again the message of the growth. Right, thank you very much. So, with messages like that, we frame the story into the growth, into the persistence, into the resilience, into grit and passion. And we are not satisfied with just, communication that is simple and devoted to talents, but we want to more. We use those statements when they succeed, or when because then we try to put them into another level to put out more quality. But also when they are struggling, it's because we want to, come out of the struggle and help them. Now about the expectations. Well, now we need 3 papers. Before we needed only 2. So what would be the growth mindset? Which one reflects the growth mindset? First, second, or the third? I know that you all have the ability to do this, so I have set the bar high. So all of you will get a certificate, but only few will actually reach the goal. So which is the growth? Yes, again the first, yes? That's so you are as an educator, actually it is your role to set high expectations, so we are not satisfied with mediocrity. When you master this learning, you will see whether you have the ability to solve the most difficult tasks, or you will prove your talent, or you can be proud because this isn't easy. Which one is growth mindset? Okay. The third, yeah? The third one, yeah? Yeah, because, yeah, I'm aware that this task is not easy, so you have to put effort into it, and in the end, you can be happy. As you learn this, mistakes are expected, not allowed, tolerated. Expected, yeah? Okay, that's what I think that the culture now is, that we embrace the mistakes. But I think that a lot of times we just say, okay, that we are more on this tolerated, that mistakes are tolerated, but actually with our behaviors, we are much more, happy when we don't see the mistakes. So with this activity, we talked about, that's my question to you. So with this activity, actually, we talked about communicating the high expectations. The source for all this about the growth mindset is this book. I'm sure it's also in German language, but in English it's The Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, which is a summary of the work of Carol Dweck. So, yeah. And in this link, actually, it's the same link that I showed you before. In our team, we prepared different info sheets in German and in English on how to, to develop a growth mindset in different fields of education. So, and this is the content of the info sheets that are there. So, how to develop the growth mindset through success, through failures, how to reflect growth mindset languages, and how to give the process-oriented feedback. Yeah, it's a big topic that we cannot cover everything today, but of course you can download all the material and go through it. Okay. If we make a summary of what we discussed now. So what is actually the role of the growth mindset in education is that it has a strong impact on behavior, on your behavior as an educator and on behavior of your students, on the way they approach to the learning. The good message here is that actually educators are able to influence the mindset of your students, despite the fact that they are coming with different baggage to your classroom, but with the appropriate language and the appropriate design of the learning experience, you can influence their mindset through all the things that we discussed. And now we are moving slowly to our workshop part. Not that you were not active now, because you already put some effort, but anyway, I want you to design a workshop on growth and fixed mindset for your students. 45 minutes learning unit, it should be. So this would be an activity with which you introduce this. But why we are doing, I will explain this a little bit more into details. But this is the goal, so that in groups you create a 45 minutes learning lesson on the mindset that is devoted to your students. Why we are doing this? I have research cited here, as you can see, because, of course, you can reflect a growth mindset through your language, through your tests and everything. But one of the most effective intervention is still here, that actually we inform students about the fixed mindset, about the growth mindset. It's really effective, and it's showed in different research. There are many research from different fields, but here, since we are designers here, this was the closest that I found. It's in It's from the European Journal of Engineering Education. And it's a review of different strategies. So the students who received the growth mindset intervention during their studies, they demonstrated greater improvement in their design skills. So it's really important that we communicate with them about the mindset. I would like, please take this example only as an inspiration, yes? Because you can do those activities even with small children. So there is a school in Murcia in Spain, which is our client, and together with them, we performed this activity, Water Your Mind, that is devoted to children aged 3 to 5 years. We wanted to give them information about the role of brains and about the role of mindset in our life. So I will just show you the example, how the activity looks like. Teacher will explain you that through the interview, how the activity looked like, and then later I will also show you some pictures what students created. Okay, let's see. This now is interview with the teacher who will explain the activity with kindergarten teachers.
I really liked when you explained to me that you actually believe that we have to care for our brains, and Maria wanted to show this message also to children in kindergarten, so children from 3 years to 5 years old. Can you explain your activity?
Sure. This activity was implemented in kindergarten. It is aimed at children between 3 and 5 years old, and teachers implemented this activity thanks to a brain activity, a mindset go activity that was proposed for secondary students. So the final product was a giant mural which explains or shows how our brains are work or how are they grown. The first step was for kindergarten teachers to take pictures of students, and then they printed it in A3 papers and took the part of the brains off. Then kids were told to decorate their brains with things that they like or they think are positive and beautiful, and they also drew a frame for the portraits to stand out. And also teachers told them a story called the Thief of Words, and this story contains positive and significant words. So kids had the opportunity to choose these words, and all these words were also written in A3 papers, and then they were taken to form part of the mural. Also, as our brain works like nature, and we need water for our brain to grow. That's what they told the kids. They did a big watering can, and they covered it with recycled newspaper. And another part of this activity was to take them to the garden, school garden, where teachers showed the relationship between the brain and nature. Nature needs us to take care of it, and brains also, so children could see the relationship between how our brain grows and how nature does.
Wow, that's
and the
so strong message.
And the final product was putting all it together. So the portraits that I said before were pasted on the wall, and then teachers drew a tree, and the little ones were in charge of decorating it. And these words that were taken from the book were written above the portraits as they were watering their brains, and then they pasted the big watering can.
I can just see little children how they, observe and.
Okay, maybe we can see now the results actually. Okay, yeah. So this was an example of introducing growth mindsets to kindergarten children, and this. And so you saw that this was the whole project, this mural was also inspiration for their parents, because they have a strong influence on children, that they started to raise their children more towards growth and development. Okay, so now it's our turn. We have again one, two, three, four groups, yes, different groups than before. And we developed this workshop for your students. So you can use metaphors, right? That whatever comes to your mind, for explaining plasticity of our brains. Then you can include a task connected with the subject that you teach. Create challenges that require participants to step out of their comfort zone. And have in mind the learning map that Colin introduced us in the morning. So you can present the design of the workshop in the form of a map. But also the second workshop that we had with Anna, she reminded us on the empathy recognition, on the aesthetics. You can also integrate that into the workshop. Yeah, I know. That's why you will have now 3 minutes of silence to collect your thoughts a little bit, to come up with initial ideas. Just be comfortable in silence. And after this silence time, we go to the groups on the table, yeah? So now just we learn with our mouth shut, as Colin would say. Ready? Now you can go to the groups, 4 groups, and you have 15 minutes to design the workshop for your students.